Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Boring Show. We are today here with, not here, but virtually here with Fitz. Hello, Fitz.
Hi, Philip.
So we're doing this from home, but it's the same Boring Show as you know it, which means if you don't know it, which means we are going to go through some relatively boring topic, going through the ropes, having issues, hopefully, and getting out of them even more, hopefully, so that you can, follow us along, learn hopefully something new, and also see how to get out of trouble when using Flutter. So that's the plan every single episode. And this episode, you have a especially boring topic, Fitz.
Yes. So our lovely boring topic today is typography. So as you may or may not know, reading text on an app is kind of important. And so making sure that the typography for your apps is good is also important. And so we're going to be starting to look at that today. And I thought it would be an interesting idea to try out the new Google Fonts package. So if you, and if you aren't aware, the Google Fonts is a service that provides fonts. We name a font, and it's probably there. So there's all kinds of different fonts, and it recently has been made available inside of Flutter apps. So we're going to take a look at that.
Yeah. So Google Fonts, I've been using it a lot in my web development days, and still know it a lot. And obviously, also, I'm sure some people already use it in Flutter because you can also download font files and then add it to your Flutter app. But the Google Fonts package does some pretty amazing stuff, especially when you're developing and trying out different fonts. So this is Google Fonts itself, but the package is Google Fonts. We also just so that we're not only going to be talking about Google Fonts. I think we're also going to be talking about how to generally work with fonts in apps, in Flutter apps.
Yes.
Because again, as Fitz said, like fonts are pretty important. A lot of apps are 90% text. So it kind of makes sense to stress about it. We do have this app that we've been doing for 2 years now, called the Hacker News app, which I think has a pretty good typography, but everything can be improved. And it definitely does some bad stuff in terms of how things are done. So, for example, some text is, I searched this before, some text just like say this, the font size of this is 24. It's hard coded right there in the widget, which is possible and it's fine for many occasions, but we would want to maybe have it at the theme level and then just propagate it down the tree, so that we can more easily allow the user to change it and also ourselves to configure it.
Right, exactly.
So,
all right. And we've got a theme already started at the top. And so it might be interesting at some point today just to look at that and see if we can introduce some fonts there.
Yeah, that's right. Yes, we could definitely do that. Also, we will probably deal with this deprecation warning, which is coming in pretty soon. Well, you're probably watching, and this is already not a deprecation. It's probably already verboten. So let's fix that. Cool. What did we do? What did we want to do then? Probably if you want to show you the Google Fonts package, we might want to install it in our app and have a dependency on that.
Probably. Yeah. So if we start there, we can pull in the package, and then maybe before we get to the theme, maybe we can try just putting some piece of text in our app, maybe the title or something, as a Google font, and just see how it works.
All right. Yeah. All right. So this looks like we have it.
Okay.
Pub run, pub get did its thing, and I did have that text. This no, this
Yeah.
one.
What was it?
What was it? Oh, yeah,
Article.
yeah,
Yep,
article
that one.
title.
Yep.
Which is this, right?
Right.
So right now I'm just gonna do style, and I'm gonna assume that the IDE will do the right thing and import the Google Fonts object from Google Fonts. And now I can actually choose any of these. What's your favorite? Do you like Alata?
Favorite Alata? Let me look at that one.
I have no idea what any of these is. So
I don't know
just
either.
Like randomly pick Alerta.
Okay.
We want not the theme, we want the style right now because we're doing style.
Right.
So Alerta just looks good.
I think just Alerta, yeah.
Ooh. Okay, so it's small. That's fine. That's because that's the title. I guess we could.
Is there an option within this Alerta thing?
Oh yeah. To
font size.
increase the font size. What was the maybe? Ooh, that's maybe too big. 24. Well, I like it.
Okay. Yeah.
But I'm sure there are better ones as well. Okay, so we could definitely go to the Google Fonts site and see what are good fonts. But this is a development show, so maybe we shouldn't spend too much time here. But like, we probably want serif. I really like the serif font there because it's just maybe even display handwriting. Probably not monospace. Probably not. And all languages. I think I'm fine with all this.
Yeah, I think that's
Is there anything that you like here? It could be crazy, like this lobster is kind of weird.
Is there like a newspaper typeset?
Yeah. I mean, I kind of want to use something that I've never seen before, and it could be a newspaper. I like the newspaper style. What do you like? What do you think about Markazi text?
Markazi text. Okay, yeah.
All right.
Let's do it.
Let's try it. So we'll say Markazi text. Will we? Will we get the... Oh, it's just slow. Oh, it's not available. Oh, no, it is. Okay. And
ooh, it's much smaller at 24.
Yeah, it is.
That's curious.
That's unfortunately the just fonts are doing that a lot.
Yeah.
Do you like this? Is it too much?
I don't know. I mean, it's a little skinny. I don't.
Oh, do you want to bolden it?
I don't know. That I think the font is a potentially skinny font. We can try bolding it and see what it looks like.
All right. So we should also probably explain that this is fine as we're doing it now. What the Google Fonts is doing, the package, is that it will fetch the font from the web. And so this is particularly nice when you're developing like this, because otherwise we would have to go to Google Fonts, would have to download this font, we would have to go back here, put it in a file somewhere or directory somewhere.
In the assets.
Then probably also go here and say, these are my fonts. And well, definitely we would have to go here and do, these are my fonts, and then we could use it, right? Which is a lot of steps, especially in this development process where you're like just trying things out. So I really like this. On the other hand, you probably, there is a functionality in Google Fonts, the package, where you say, you know what, I want to bake these fonts into the app so people don't need to fetch them every time they they install my app
Right.
from the internet, and that is probably much recommended, um, unless you really really want to, like, let's say you have like 10 fonts in your app for some reason, and you want them to be dynamic and you don't want them to be a part of your download size in terms of app size. All right, so what's your suggestion now, Fitz, the typesetter?
That may be ascribing too much expertise on my side in terms of fonts. I know how to open this page and look through what kind of looks good. Also from web development days. Ooh, that one.
What about, so okay, I want to try something weird, and then we can go with something normal.
Yes.
And then that would be it, because I'm pretty sure people don't want to watch us just like looking through fonts.
No,
it's
exactly.
boring. That's for sure. But so I like this shorthand for some reason, and so that's what I'll use. Shorthand, and that's gonna be probably a lot bigger than this one.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
So we could do something smaller. It's really hard to read.
It is a little bit hard to read.
Yeah.
And it's already kind of bolded on its own.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, I removed the bolding because it only has one style.
I see.
So yeah. All right. It would be a really nice for some. I would like this if the titles were like 3 words, but most of the titles in Hacker News are much more, and so it's not really.
Yeah, it's
working.
a lot. It's a lot.
Okay. Fitz, if you have any good recommendations, I kind of failed 2 times in a row, so I want to see you fail as well.
What about? Oh, we already tried that one. What about Boogaloo? So BOO.
Okay.
Galoo.
Boogaloo. Okay.
Boogaloo. Let's try it.
Ooh.
You're
not. Yeah. You're not afraid of weird stuff either.
Yeah. The interesting fonts are interesting.
Yeah. It is like a note taking thing.
Yeah, almost. It kind of has some of that calligraphy stroke sort of style. Yeah, I think this is starting to look good. I wonder if we can, one of the things that you mentioned early on of wanting to do here was that we had that font size number in this widget, and it's kind of hard to change, because if you ever want to change it, you have to go find line 296. And so maybe now is a good time to look at seeing if we can define some theme information for the fonts.
So I noticed that every time I try to put the font there, it also had a theme. So I wonder if... All right, so first off, I don't think we need to... Well, okay, so we're getting the text theme of basically material, it seems here.
Yeah.
Which is weird, and I don't think that's actually working, because we're using a context that is above material app. So I don't know why we're doing this, to be honest. Can we just do text theme here? Will it change a lot? No. Not at all. Yeah, I think it was just us being overzealous in general. You would want to do something like this. Like if you override the material text theme somewhere below, then you want to first, I guess, get the text theme of material or like context. But I think here it's just it's just using it anyway. So I think we're good.
Okay.
And also, so I want to address this one. So we have a deprecation warning here because text theme is actually not, I mean, text theme is changing because material is changing some of the things that we like, the calling or naming of some of the things. So for example, subhead is okay until Flutter something something, but these days you would say subtitle 1.
Subtitle 1.
Right. Subtitle 1.
Right.
And I don't know where we're actually using this one.
Yeah, I don't know. Are we able to, I'll check on my end. It doesn't seem like we're using that yet.
All right.
So it's there.
Yeah. So one thing that I learned, and we've already done this in the boring show, but it's good to do the same thing again, I think, is if you don't know where a text theme is going from or coming from, like for example, the top story is here, right? Like it's a nice font. I don't know where it's going from. So you go to Flutter Inspector in your favorite IDE, whatever it is. You go to the inspecting thing to select it. And then you, instead of the widget tree, which doesn't really tell you what you want to know, you go to the render tree.
Ooh.
And in the render tree, you have the paragraph and you have the text span. And in the text span, this is too small. I wish it was bigger. Maybe we can do it bigger in post-production. But the debug label basically says, this is title with headline 6.
Headline 6.
And merge with something unknown, which means we defined it somewhere, like exactly.
Okay.
It's headline 6 Cupertino because this is the app bar, right?
Right.
So this will give us a little bit of where it might be. I'm guessing that's actually not styled at all by us, is it?
Right. So if we check the app bar, we've defined apparently a headline widget.
Right. Yes. Yes.
And then within that text, we've set the color. So I'm looking.
Right. I'm looking at the headline. Oh, okay. Okay.
That's what I'm seeing too. So we're setting the color, and that's it.
Yes, and that's actually by default. We're actually changing the color because here what's going on? We're like going through white to the other.
I see.
So it's a nice little
like crossfade almost.
Yeah, fade. Yes. I'm not sure if we're doing it like now that I look at it. I'm thinking maybe something like an animated text theme would be a better fit for this than to actually recreate the text for every frame. But whatever, I think it's fine. It works.
Yeah, that'll be for the future refactoring episode.
Yeah. So I mean, so just changing the color, why not, right? What we want to do is, what did we want to do? Text theme.
Yeah, we wanted to use the text theme and actually set it or use that theming information we put up top, right? That's subtitle 1 potentially.
Right.
Or define a header 1, right? There is a header option.
Yes, there's a bunch.
Yeah.
So, but these are like duplicated. So some of these are the ones that are deprecated, and the other ones are the ones that are new.
Right.
Let's just go and instead of putting it here, wherever it was. So instead of putting title and Google Fonts Boogaloo here.
Right.
we are going to, I think title automatically has something applied to it. And so once again, I can go here and say render tree. What are you using? And it's subhead.
Subhead. Okay, and that's because it's the title of this list item or whatever this widget is.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. We are in an expansion tile, so it already it automatically gets the title thing with that. So subhead, I think we had it though, didn't we?
Well, we renamed it to. Well, I guess that's the new.
Right. Okay.
So yeah, subtitle 1. So we should be able to change. So that font size is set to 10. Yeah, we should be able to change it to the Google Fonts, and haha.
Oh, yeah. And there it is.
Excellent.
Okay.
Cool. Well, I learned something new with that Flutter inspector to find the font. That's super helpful.
It is helpful. It is well hidden. So I hope that we can do better in this respect. But that's fine. So caption, where is caption? Oh, is it the comments maybe?
Ooh.
No. It's this actually, I think. I'm pretty sure it's this.
Is that the label on those icons at the bottom?
Right. Let's see. Red. Yep.
Okay.
All right. So I'm fine with that, to be honest. To be like this.
Yeah, I think that's okay.
This is also okay. I think it will just use the OS thing. This as well. So like these things might as well be in in the font that the OS suggests.
Yeah, because we saw that earlier too. It said that it was a Cupertino header or something like that, right?
Yeah.
So yep, that's right. It'll pull from the system.
So what about the comments here? That's basically the all of text we have here, unless we want to go into settings pages and stuff like this.
Right.
Do you want to play with this a little bit and then call it a day, or?
So let's try it. It'd be nice to at least make sure that it also follows our pattern now of defining fonts up top.
Yeah, exactly.
And so let's make sure it goes where we expect it to go.
So this is more usual. It's just a text as a child of a button, and buttons also can style text. So let's use the trick from before and see if we can actually in the render tree find out if it's styled in any way. And it is. It's a button text.
Oh.
So once again, we can go up there.
Yep. And I have the mapping to the new names here, and it's still button in the new version.
Nice.
So that's convenient.
Ooh, yeah. Button. The little things, right? And it's going to be Google Fonts. Should we try and do Boogaloo again? Ooh, okay. Maybe a little larger font size.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be too big, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I don't like how it should be aligned with the rest, but that maybe not. Actually, yeah. Let me change that.
Because all we need to do is add some left padding, or if we want to be directionally aware, some start padding.
Ooh, interesting. I just want to, so expansion pile. Okay. So I want to make sure that this is actually padded in the same way. I don't know. What is the padding here?
Oh.
Also, button itself is padded a little bit. So you know what? Let me just kind of
we can wrap that
improvise.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Because I suspect some of that spacing is done a little automatically for us with the that star icon is providing some of that sizing.
Yeah. So left would be, I don't know, 30 for starters.
Yeah.
Okay. 40. I want to go beyond that.
Right. So have it slightly indented almost.
Yeah.
Right.
46. Like this?
Okay.
Is that better than? Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so Boogaloo, does it have a less bold thing, or does it not?
Let me reopen it. It has one style. That's it. That is all we
exactly
get.
one style. All right, that's not fun, but okay. Well, we have that. So this is how we would like if you only want to use the styles that are already set up for you in the text theme. That's how you would do it.
Right.
And that's great, right? There's also the like Google Fonts, like where do I put it? Google Fonts also has Google Fonts.
It's like the preloading you were talking about earlier.
Yeah. Oh no. What I meant is the Boogaloo text theme. So normally we use the Boogaloo. That's the text style.
Right.
Text theme is, I guess, if we just wanted to have the theme everywhere to be Boogaloo and not like this, right? I don't actually know. This is the first time I'm using this package. So, what does it say? It doesn't say anything.
Yeah, I'm looking at the docs. It says that you can use the text theme to modify an entire text theme to use that font.
All right. Okay. Yeah. That's. I think that's what I was assuming.
Yeah.
So I was assuming. Okay. I think actually, yeah, that would probably make sense for our case if we just did Google Fonts, Boogaloo text theme.
Right, because then it ends up being used for all of our text, right? Including those icon buttons at the bottom.
Yeah, exactly. So this is kind of terrible. And then of course you can give it a theme. So the text theme, it's not working for me. But you could give it a theme, which means we could kind of do it the other way around. Boogaloo is the main one, and then we can go with different captions, subtitles, whatever we want.
Right. The example in the documentation uses the that copy with syntax to get the specific things changed. So we could do that and change the caption to something else. But
I think I'm good with like having the Boogaloo font only on that particular page in the list, and then everything else could be this because it's more readable. It just looks more like an app. This is fine. I think crazy is good, but not
not too over the top.
yes. All right, so all of this is good. We did this. The last thing I wanted to show is just giving well, like right now we use caption, button, subtitle. What if you want your I'm getting lost in this a little bit, but header or headline.
What are you thinking? What tell me where you're headed.
Yeah. All right. So right now what we did was all the time we just use the font that is already inherited by the widget, right?
Okay. Yep.
So for example, with this, this is inheriting, as we showed through the inspector.
Right.
This is inheriting a style that is, what was it, subhead or
subtitle one.
Right. But sometimes you kind of want to override it. Like you want this to be not subtitle one. This should be, I don't know, button.
Right.
And so this is actually really easy. Like we can just say text style like before.
Or is it just style?
I mean, style. Yep. But instead of just doing like text style of some, I'm sorry, text style blah blah blah. You would do. Is it text theme off or is it just theme off? No, okay, so it's theme off, context, text theme, and then whatever.
Right.
Button.
So then button. And then it should be the same as our comments after that. Yep.
Yes. And so this is the better way to do it, because now at the top you can have like an options page or something, and you can say, you know what, I want everything to be in a less crazy font. And instead of then going everywhere and changing it, you can just style it from up top.
Yes.
So we should definitely, whenever we have something like this, maybe we actually don't, like I see a lot of just text. That's how it should be. But if you ever see your code and you see a style that is like hard-coded style, then you should not do that, I think. You should go with this.
Yes.
Text theme of
context. So defining within the widget, defining the semantic meaning of the thing by saying this is a button, versus saying it's Boogaloo 24.
Yeah. I wonder if we can find actually a better thing.
Be like headline
one?
Yeah. That's probably pretty big. Oh my gosh. Yep, that's quite big. Maybe headline 6. Let's take it all the way down.
6.
That might be kind of small, but it's getting there.
Yeah. Headline 5.
Yeah, and we haven't defined that as a Boogaloo font up top, right? So then it's pulling from whatever the default for this particular thing.
Right. I actually like this, to be honest, but let's go back to what we styled at the beginning. I just wanted to show this, but you can definitely, if you can, of course, just use whatever is inherited. Also, we might want to say how this happens. Like, how is it that a text that we didn't style in any way gets that treatment? And that's actually pretty easy to do, because we can go to expansion tile and was it title?
It was title. Yep.
It was title, right? So we can see where it's used here. And we can see, it's actually using list style.
Okay, so then list tile is making it probably...
Okay. List style is making it... Yeah, it's animated default text style.
Interesting.
Of the title style, which is gotten from the theme data.
Which is a subtitle 1. Look at that. If it's in a list.
Yep. So it's actually quite a lot, if I didn't expect it to be that much logic. But yeah, it's if you ever want to do it, if you have a widget and you want to make sure that the text that people give it is styled in some way, you could definitely do the default text style or animated default text style.
Right.
Animated, I'm guessing, because it's, if you want to change like the boldness or the size of something, you want to go, like not slowly, but.
And I don't know if you noticed very early on when we changed that comments button to be a different font size, that was animated between the different font sizes with our hot reload.
Right. Let's show it actually. That's a good one. So go.
And so this is one of those nice things about using some of these built-in things. There you go. It's animating up and down, and that's because of our animated default text style. We're gonna end it with 380 point font with just an S on the top.
What? 380?
380? Sure. Is that going to be a little bit bigger?
Can we do 800? Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
We can. All right. I like it. It's like a logo almost. Or we could do like ant fonts. Junk.
Wow. But that nicely animates all the way down.
Yeah, exactly.
And we didn't do anything special for it. It's just part of the built-in I guess what was that? A expand tile, which I guess is a list tile, and then
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I guess like almost wherever even with the buttons, it's almost always wrapped with an animated text style, and animated default text style just does the right thing with resizing and with animating everything. So you don't need to.
Right. And you were saying that's at some point what we should do with the that header, the top stories between the two different pages.
Oh yeah, I mean, in that case, I'm not sure. I guess let's not do it now, because that would
that's its own thing.
Throw us in a territory of like, because this is an animated widget state. It's like an implicitly animated widget, and that means we still have to like basically rebuild stuff from scratch. I don't know. Maybe how we did it is fine. It's just it did feel a little weird. Actually, no. I mean, if we just did default text style, let me just quickly noodle on it.
Right.
Default text style. We'll need to rebuild, but
it might be reasonable.
Or animated. Animated.
Yeah, I think it's the animated default text. Yep.
Okay, so the child is obvious.
That's our text.
And then it also wants duration.
Mm-hmm.
That's weird.
Wait, up top there. There was a duration set. Headline animation duration.
Yeah, it's just that I don't know why. Oh, is it because we can't actually give it? We can't actually give it an animation. This is not the right widget for us.
Oh, I mean, yeah,
animated default text style like kind of has its animation in it, but while here, because this is an implicitly animated widget, we're actually giving it an animation to evaluate.
Right, because animated default text style is an implicit animation itself. Right. So
default text style transition might be it.
Oh.
So.
Now it takes an animation. Yeah, look at that. That could be.
Yeah. Except we have a color tween, but we don't have we need a text style tween.
Oh.
And I'm not going to go into this. It is something that we should do, to be clear. It is something that would probably not take that much long, but I think it's getting into animated widgets, and that's probably not the right thing for us. I think I'm pretty happy with the progress. What about you, Fitz?
Yeah, I think this is looking pretty good. I mean, we've pulled out. We started with that font size being specified within the text widget where it appeared in the tree, and we pulled that out and gave it its own font and its own size up top as part of the top level theme. And so that seems to have solved our goal of making it easier to change text and font sizes and whatnot from anywhere.
Yeah. I see other things that we could improve on. So, for example, in the search Dart thing, we have a text theme of context subhead. All right, so we should probably put it into subhead 1 or whatever.
Subtitle
but also
1.
Copy with subtitle 1. But it's also doing the copy with font size 16. That font size 16 is, again, hard-coded for this particular widget. I think it might make more sense to have like a subtitle 2 or some other thing that we can style everywhere, right? Like there's no need to hard-code it here. How about else? Oh, no, another one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's in search. Whoever did search is terrible. Wow. It wasn't me. So that's why I can say it. All right. Otherwise, I think apart from the search Dart jokers, this is all good.
This is looking great.
Yeah. All right. We only have text where text should be and text style only at the top. I am happy. We're both happy, it
Yep,
seems.
both happy. I am happy as well.
Right. I guess that's it then. So to review, we did use the Google Fonts package. We didn't show how to bake it, but there's good documentation here about how to do it in the README, I think.
Yes, I believe it's there. Yep.
Yeah.
There it is.
Which is great. This is when you are trying to actually productionize your app, and you do know that you want that exact font. But for development, this is really good. So we did that, and we looked at how do you find where a text field gets its text theme information from.
Yep.
Which we did a number of times.
Mm-hmm.
And then we said, please don't hard code your fonts to, whatever you please instead put it into a theme at up top and then just use that theme.
Yep. And so now we have an ability to change multiple parts of our fonts, multiple fonts used in multiple parts of our app pretty easily. And so then we could spend the rest of our time, the rest of our days, looking through the Google fonts to find the perfect ones.
Exactly. Yes, I'm already... I could spend hours on this, so let's not do that. Thank you for watching. I hope this was informative, and we did get into some trouble, so that's always good. See you next time.
All right. Bye.